My name is Honorable Fatunjai, presenting on behalf of TRRC Group. I have discussed on 4 topics here. Number 1 is reconciliation and forgiveness. How should we promote reconciliation? And that is to raise awareness on politics. We have sensitize people about reconciliation. We have young people to get in touch with traditional and religious leaders, also traditional communicators. We can also sensitize people in form of dramas. Youth should come together to sensitize people about TRRC. Number 2, we have how should TRRC give reparation and who should be qualified for it? Number 1, we have all the victims, those who are involved in it. We only the one who we also have the ones who deserve prostitution, and there is people who refuse to speak the truth and those who refuse to testify. We also have law, forgive one another. That is to forgive what happened in the past. Speak against anything that is illegal. Participate in politics and also contest in politics. Also, to introduce civic education in the education. And a bigger space should be provided for the sign language interpreter on the TV screen, as some people do complain that the space for the sign language interpreter is too small. So sometimes for them to understand what the person is saying,
Good afternoon. I'm presenting on behalf of CRC, the Constitutional Group. My name is Yankuba Diallo, and then we have made some recommendations. And the first recommendation is the people should know what is submitted to the president. Because the TRC, at the end of their work, they will submit the, as to what is being done. Because the TRC, after its work, after presenting the report, it will cease to, how do you say, exist. So there will be a vacuum. So we want to know, there should be a committee. We submitted that there should be a committee that should do follow-up. Very well. a committee to do that. We also suggested that the National Assembly members should take the report to their people and do consultation with them. This will enhance their understanding as to what is being put in the report to reflect in the new constitution. So we also suggested that the new constitution should be used in the next presidential election, meaning there should be a referendum before the next presidential election. And this was our suggestion. We also suggested that the new constitution should be serialized and be included in our education system. That is, from primary to secondary schools, people should be able to understand the basics of the constitution, and then people will know what is being put in the constitution. We also suggested that it should be put in the local languages, and this will include the use of audios into all local languages, because as we know, many people find it difficult to read legal instruments and understand. So it will be very interesting if it is put in local languages so that by the public, and then it needs more advocacy so that people will know what they do. We also suggested that the constitution, the new constitution should be simplified. It should not be made a document that will people will find it difficult to understand. We also suggested that the government parastatals. So it's very important if this will be revisited. Also, we suggested that the governors and chairperson issues should be critically looked into, because chairpersons are being elected and the governors are appointed, but yet the governors have powers over the chairpersons. So these were some of our suggestions.
Floor to talk about the SSR, what they know. Then the facilitator did an overview or a background. Then we gave some recommendations and challenges that were done simultaneously. First and foremost, when the participants were asked to say some of the things that they know about the security sector, many by the politician to achieve their personal agendas. The practical aspect of the security sector reform is something that is yet to be seen by the general citizenry. Some of the participants are of the view that there is a problem with coordination. So from there, we move straight to the recommendation and then some of the challenges. First, we information regarding the reform. Programs of the security sector reform should be well coordinated so that the objectives are realized. There should be a session for people to talk about the reforms. This will help the SRR to gauge their performance. Others also suggested that there's educated on their responsibility in line with the Constitution. This will prevent a lot of impunity. There should also be a complaint mechanism for the young security officers to be able to express their concerns. So this goes to say that there has been a lot of rigid when it comes to the command structure. Those who should be dismissed from the service Gambia, so they need to be intertwined. There should be qualification for one to join the security sector, because if you allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry to join the security sector, and we want the best, this will be something that we will not realize. Youth should also participate in the reform process. And then we also have, if there are before even telling me. So if you tell me what I like about the program, you're actually limiting me to only say what I like and not actually what I dislike. And then some of the challenges that participants or the people who work there lamented was the issue of funding, then compliance and conformity, then youth participation rather is
Okay. Assalamu alaikum to you all. The girl sitting in front of you goes by the name Senab Sen. I'm here to represent on behalf of the National Human Rights Commission. And we discuss about various things. We discussed about what is human right. So this, to our discussion, we said human rights, these are basic needs that is given to people. That these are things we are born with. Human rights are things that we are born with, and they cannot be taken away from any person, no matter whoever you are, whether you are male or female. So you are entitled to. Rights that we mentioned, and fair trial also is part of it. So next on what we discussed is like what are the principles of human right. We said they cannot be taken away. So these are things that is part of us that we said we are born with. So no matter who you are, those rights have to be protected. So if they are violated, if they are taken from you, so you need to claim it to the High Commission. Okay, the other thing is like right to, they cannot be fragmented. If one is affected, the other is also affected. So it follows. So you cannot say, you cannot protect the life of someone, like for example, life to health. This is wherever you are, whoever you are, the Commission is there to protect your rights. So our rights are being protected by the Human Rights Commission. So they need to be the people responsible for our rights. So what are the functions that they normally do? First is like the Commission serves as watchdogs to our rights. So they protect our rights. So judgment, they are not sides, like they don't advocate for one side and leave the other side. So whoever is affected, so they have to investigate on the matter. So you don't just have to come and say like my right is violated. What have you done? So they have to go in and investigate and know the things that are going on before they will take any action. Okay. And talk to the people so that they can help me. And the other thing is like the Commission assists the government to protect and respect to fulfill the right of everyone. Here, what we are trying to say, it doesn't matter whether you are a Gambian or non-Gambian. As far as you are in the country, the Commission is there to fight for the rights of everyone. If payment. Like you go there, you lodge your complaint, wherever you are, even if you are at CRR, they will come to you and explain things to you. So you also give out what is happening, so they do their investigation. So there is no payment about that. So we said, what are some of the things that are working and things that and development of advocacy programs for white sensitization. Like what I explained before, it's similar to that one too. Investigation into human validations also. If anything is, a minute. Okay, sorry. So let me just wrap up. Like the things that are not working, modes of advocacy. Grassroots who also need like justice, so they also have the right to have access to them. And the other thing, the recommendation, inculcation of human rights in the schools. Like human rights should be taught from the grassroots. They should not only sit until like we are at the latter part, we learn about it. So it has to start from the grassroots where we'll be able to know our rights from grade 1. It should be part of the curriculum. And the other thing, promotes of rights for the disabled. Like also, it should be the responsibility of the Commission to make sure like the structures that are built are user-friendly for the disabled, differently able. Because if you can see at the hospital, the differently able, if they want to go there, the structure how they are built, they are not able to go in or do some of the things that they need. So at the school level also, they are also need to be considered. These are some of the things that we discuss, and partnership too. Like we have community development at different areas. So like, for example, it will not be necessary for the YNC to travel all the way from Banjul to come down to like CRR. They should try and make sure they have subcommittee or capacitize the VDC because they are there for the community people. Because the community people, once they people talk to them, that's more of them changing than someone outside. So they need to capacitize them and also create that awareness in the society. So that's what we have for you people. Thank you.
And if you have anything that you believe should be adjusted, you can also get to them before they submit their final draft or Maslam, Lamisane, to be part of our documents. So once again, thank you so much. And can we give them one round of applause? So I would like to lower my flag and then hand over to Mr. Dabo for the next session.